So what's up everyone? It's your boy George and today I'll be explaining how QuickSort works. So QuickSort is a really popular and efficient sorting algorithm and it uses a divide and conquer approach. So let's begin. So so basically this part of the code here defines QuickSort as a function. And here it's this part is the base case. It basically stops the code from going into an infinite loop or something like that. And its condition is that if the array length is less than or equal to 1, it will stop or recall it later. I'll explain it later. And this part here is the pivot. This is the value that will magically sort everything into, well, sort it, I guess. And these two here, well, these will create a empty array for the values we're gonna store in them later. So this for loop right here is this is the part of the code where it will sort everything. So I'll get into detail later of that part and this part too, which is the I f- what was that again? Concation? But basically this part will be the one responsible for putting everything back together. And the most bottom part here is my array, which is really scrambled right now, as you can see. And I'm gonna call it using the quicksort function. So let's start. So we're gonna call it. So I'm gonna use Word for this, so we can visualize it. So I'm gonna call the array here. It's gonna skip the base case because it's not part of it. It's, it's not less than or equal to 1. And now we're gonna declare our pivot, which is position 0. So if you don't know, index position is the part of the um, the data inside the array. So basically, 4 is 0 in the index position, and 5 is 1, 2 is 2, and so on and so forth. So now we're gonna get our index position, our pivot using the index position 0, which is 4. So I place it right here. And now we're gonna skip this part since we already declared it. And and now we're gonna do it. We're gonna sort the code. So we're gonna let index our I be 1. So if I is less than array length, we're gonna increment it. So here we go. This is the part where this is the part where it gets interesting. So so if array index position, array I, which I is now 1, so the index position 1 is 5. Remember? Like 4 is 0, and 5 is 1, and 2 is 2, and so on and so forth. So if you remember that, the index position right now is 1, so it's basically 5. So it means is 5 less than the pivot, which is 4. Is that true or not? So not, it's not true. So we then go to the else statement. So it's basically that push basically puts it into the array. So our array for it is right. So we're gonna put it right here. And then this for loop is gonna increment. So the I is now 2 in this position 2, which is basically 2. So is 2 less than 4? So it's true. So it's gonna do this left push. So it's gonna put it in the left array. And then we move on to 6. So is 6 less than 4? No, so it's gonna put it to the other side. And then we're gonna do 3. It's less than 3. It's less than 4. 7 is not less than 4. And then 1 is less than 4. So basically, we split the code into two separate parts. I mean the array into two different arrays. And now we're gonna also, since it fulfill the didn't fulfill the base case code, which is it's not less than or equal to one. So it's gonna continue splitting, or it's gonna continue splitting. So we're gonna split here. So again, wait. So we're gonna split again here at two. Since we start back at square one, we're gonna do index position 0 again, which is, in this case, it's 2. So we're gonna pick 2 as our index position, and now we're gonna start the for loop again. So is 3 less than 2? No, so it's gonna use this else, it's gonna push it to the right, and now we have an index, and now we have an array where we can put 3. And then is 1 less than 2? So yes, so it's gonna be put in the left. Since it's already, well, it's equal, then since it fulfilled the base case, it's gonna stop right here. And now we're gonna fulfill the other parts, which is here. We're gonna we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did to the left. So again, pivot is index position 0, which is 5 in this array, and then we're gonna split it. Yeah, we're gonna sort it. I mean, so is 6 less than 5? No, so we're gonna put 6 here at the right. So is 7 less than 5? Again, no, so it's gonna be put right here. Since we have no left, it's just gonna be blank. And again, it still didn't fulfill the base case right here. So it's still gonna sort itself. So again, so we're gonna go with index position 0, which is 6, and now we're gonna is 7 less than 6? So no, it's gonna be on the right. And now every in this entire thing, I don't know what the name is, but basically it already fulfilled the base case. So it's gonna start it's gonna, what's the term again? Hmm, it's gonna basically it's gonna basically, well, it's gonna recall it. It's So this is where it's gonna return it. I mean, so it uses this code now, which is basically gonna put the left array, uh, and then the right, and in between it is so it's gonna put, I mean, let me visualize it. So it's gonna put the left array and the right array, and in between it's gonna be the pivot. So it doesn't it it's quite confusing, but let me just do it the visual. Let me just visualize it. I mean, so let's go with 7 here. Since, oh yeah, before I start with this, it's gonna use the what we call a fellow method, which is first in and last out. Out. So basically, the last part of the code that we modified, it's gonna be the first part that's gonna be put inside the array when we return it, since it's already done. Since it fulfilled the base case, the recursion is gonna return. I'm gonna start. I mean, gonna basically it's gonna put everything back together. So here we go. So since it we use pillow it here, it's gonna go back to 7. Since 7 doesn't have any partners, so it's gonna be blank. And then and then we put the pivot, so it's gonna be 6. And basically, we're just gonna ignore this because the values of this are already in our return values. And then we're gonna put 5 right here because, well, blank. And that's the right pivot. And now we're gonna go to the left. I'm just gonna make a small array here. And now the last was 3. So we're gonna, should be there. We're gonna put 3 and then 1. But because of this code right here, we have to put the pivot in the center. So it's more gonna be like this. I mean, it's already taking shape. And remember, we still have our last pivot, which is 4, and the code and the array must look like this. So basically, we're just gonna merge the left and right arrays, and then it's done. We sorted the code. It's basically just like that. So I hope you guys learned from my explanation, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.